Okay, Mike Masato, CEO of Staff Driven Dental and the Dental Road Warrior, returning for episode 117, a well overdue episode 117 of the Dental Road Warrior. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy 2024. I have made a New Year's resolution that I'm going to do a better job of getting these things out more regularly again, like I used to. But sometimes with travel, time of year, it's difficult. You got to hit it just right to be able to record while you're driving. Doing this on a Sunday, and it's already getting dark, so I'm going to fight the daylight to try to get this one in, because I was inspired to share something recent that came up with me since it's that time of year. And what time of year is that? It's tax season. Everybody's favorite thing, right? We all love it when it's tax season, and we have to get together our accountant, and then basically many of us just wait to hear what was the good or bad news. And I can tell you that that's not the best way of going about doing it. So I want to talk about you and your accountant a bit. I talked about accountants, and there's called what I call the contractionist model of growth, way back on episode 1. But it bears repeating again, that your accountant is one of the key people in your life. Obviously, you should have one, a good one, and you need to get yourself a good dental accountant, because I get this question all the time via my coaches. Our client was asking, such and such client was asking about, do you know a good dental accountant? Because many of you out there listening to this do not use what I consider as an accountant that specializes in dentistry, because they need to know the unique aspects of what you do and what to invest in. Because I can tell you, most of you that will go to your accountant and ask him, hey, should I spend money on X? How many of them are going to tell you, oh, sure, spend more money? Because accountants don't want you to spend more money, right? They want it all add up real nicely and give you a nice check, tax return on your taxes every year to make them look good, so they can keep billing you every single year. Look, I'm not saying you shouldn't get tax breaks and you shouldn't have everything, depreciated the way it's supposed to, and get every break you possibly can. You should. I tell people when they do my program, it's a tax write-off, no problem. When you utilize coaching for your practice, right? But again, if you ask an accountant, they should know, hey, should I buy this scanner? It's really going to increase my bottom line in my practice by implementing some technology, and they say no because it's too, quote unquote, too expensive. You got to question that, right? So there's a budget for everything, obviously, but there should always be a budget for growth. And when you go to an accountant who doesn't want you to spend money on growth, on personal and professional improvement, for investing in your team to get better, to recruiting and hiring and bringing in new people that are better for your team, all right? Because again, one of the biggest overhead costs you have in your practice every year, every month? It's your staff, biggest cost you have. And now, is that cost a benefit, or is it a detriment to you? So, I don't mind you spending $40 an hour on a front desk manager, and out here in the East Coast, in the New York metropolitan area, $40 an hour for a killer front desk manager could be the going rate. But these managers are superstars. They put money into your pocket every day because of their presence and how good they are, and they're worth it. Just like some hygienists are worth $55 an hour and some are not. Right? You have to determine that, of what their return on investment, what they're going to bring to the practice is. Accountants look at this on paper. Well, it's $40 an hour. It's way too much money. It doesn't fit into the model of the percentage, et cetera, et cetera. It's funny this came up because I had an accountant recently I was speaking to, because I was looking for some new accountants to refer some of my clients to, and the first thing I asked about, was about this philosophy of not having your clients spend money. And he says, Mike, stop right there. And I knew him, and he knew me over the years. And it says, how many more deductions can I find? How much more savings can I find them each year? And that's right. That's the right way of looking at it. There's only so many deductions, there's so much savings you could possibly do over a course of a year before there's no more numbers to crunch, right? An accountant should look at your numbers and say, if you've been down consistently, how's the revenue been trending? That's a good question to ask, by the way, this tax season when you talk to you. How's my revenue been trending? Right? Am I increasing ahead of the cost of living there? Is my profitability going up? Right? Do I need to invest in marketing? Do I need to invest in growth? Where's the best help? Give me some ideas of where to put it, or who should I invest in? Look, they should know these things, right? They should not be telling you to circle the wagons, save money, cut corners, right? That's not what it's all about, right? They're holding you back, right? So you need to find yourself a good dental accountant. Have a list of questions. Ask them. Speak to references. Speak to dentists that they work with, right? They should have a good book of business that has to do with dentists, because like I said before, It's an industry. Yet there are certain constants for all businesses that not all taxes are the same, right? There's not all service people. They wouldn't just any old service person come in. You need someone who understands and really services dental equipment. You're going to bring a service person in. They better know how to really, really well, fix the stuff that you're having to come in and fix, right? Same thing goes with your accountant, right? You don't want these guys just going through the motions, doing, filling out your return, here's the, standard procedure, and that's it, right? And so this is why it's also really important to be more engaged with your numbers. One of the things I always teach is tracking these numbers. You need to track your practice numbers daily, weekly, monthly. So this is not a surprise. You should have an idea what you've made over the course of the year or didn't make over the course of the year, where you're strong, where you're weak, right? Where the money's going, right? Understanding your overhead ahead of time, right? The relative cost of what everything, your lab, your supplies, all this. You should know this. You should not wait to find out this news after the fact, because by then it's too late. Another year has gone by. We can't go back in time and fix that year that we have made even, manage money poorly or whatever, and now we're up against it. Now we have this huge payment we have to make or whatever. So this is where having, and again, a good accountant should also be quarterly, and you should check in with your accountant. A good dental accountant should check in with you as well, and you should set that up to just have an awareness of what's going on. But you first and foremost have to understand your own finances and where everything stands with that, right? And having people in your life, whether it's a financial planner, someone who's doing investing for you, your accountant, your bookkeeper, they should have a pulse and understanding of the numbers of your practice at all times. And you need to be aware of this, because I hear this more than often than not when I'm interviewing or talking to potential new clients. I ask them certain questions having to do with their money and what they made last year, what they made last quarter, and I hear I don't know, right? You can't say those words, right? That is one of the biggest detriment. Those three words very detrimental, to your practice success. Is I don't know. It's your job to know. You would never do this with a patient. You never have a patient in a chair be in a situation when the patient turns to ask you a clinical question and you look the patient in the eye and say, I don't know. Right? What would the patient think? And first of all, how would you feel if you were confronted with a situation like that and you didn't know what was going on or how to handle a particular situation? You're trained to know. You have to know, or at least to get that information. Same thing goes when it comes to accounting. So for 2024, all of you out there, if you don't have a dental accountant, right, that specializes in dentistry, find one and then interview them. Make sure they're aligned with your philosophy of growth and improvement, if that's what you want. If you don't care about growth and improvement, you want everything to stay the same, which it doesn't. It's either getting better or getting worse. So you might as well be getting better. Get an accountant that's aligned with that. That's going to understand, not just to say, okay, you can spend money on whatever, here and there on whatever, with no rhyme or reason. No, there has to be some kind of budget and understanding that, but you always should be there willing to listen to you investing in yourself, your team, and your practice for getting better and improving. That's what it's all about. All right. Hope you're enjoying. I've been enjoying over the years listening to these videos. I think this is my 4th or 5th year I'm going into it. Time flies. I'm losing track how many years it's been since. Maybe it's longer than that. But I'll be back with another episode sooner rather than later.